eres un mago, Harry.
Trato de liberar tu mente.
Una G.
Me extrañaría si me fuera.
La aprovecharé.
No me atraparás. Bazinga.
¿Qué de nuevo, viejo?
Todo saldrá bien.
Yo mando.
Dracarys.
¿Ya están listas?
Estoy sorprendido.
¿Y quién tiene una mejor historia?
Alright, we're gonna talk about Justice League. Got all Twitter fighting. Made it to where no one could keep themselves decent for some reason. A suicide, corporate espionage. It's like everything you want, really, right? You want to hear about all this. It's like one of these dumb little pulp books. It's everything you really would want, except for the, you know, an actual good movie going to theaters. That kind of didn't happen. But this is the story of all of that. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, so...
Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Okay, after the unfortunate passing of Zack Snyder's daughter, he decided to step down, take some time off. Understandable. The problem was, the movie wasn't necessarily on the right foot to begin with. People were upset with Batman vs. Superman, a lot of frustrations over how that movie performed, a lot of frustrations on how that movie was. There was a pretty vocal group of people who really enjoyed it, but there was a lot of just frustration around it. Cycle back through the fact that everyone kind of had a lot of frustrations with the Snyderverse in general. Kind of gets us into a point where Warner Bros. Clearly wanted to take a different vibe, we would say. They want to go after them, the Marvel big boy books, you know? So they did take this chance to go ahead and bring in Josh Whedon, which is fine, I guess, kinda. Mini hot take here. I don't like Josh Whedon. And I'm also gonna say I don't like anything he's really done. I don't really like Firefly. I don't like Serenity. Weirdly, I do like Alien 4 for some reason. But I don't fuck Buffy, right? So like a ton of the movie already done, they bring in Josh Whedon. And instead of just like getting someone who was maybe an assistant director or already working with the movie to just basically put a lot of the scenes together, because a lot of the scenes were already finished. for some outrageous reason, Josh Whedon decides to recut, reshoot, re-put together a lot of the movie. For whatever reason, that makes no sense. I mean, other than they probably wanted to get that Marvel tone. I'm gonna put a lot of the blame on that. And, you know, Josh Whedon being incompetent. But they had a lot of the movie done. It was kind of like, let's take this Gundam. So here's our movie. And what they did, instead of just going ahead and taking the final piece and putting it with it, they went ahead and just went swoop, and just, you know, moved it a little bit over. Kept like the bare minimum of it, so that when they put it together, you know, all we have is a little bitty thing like this, and called it good. This, or this. So here would be the Snyder Cut. Using all the pieces they already put together, they put it together the way it probably should have been put together in the first place. You know, maybe not be a full model, but it's still cute enough to get by. And I'll be honest, I kind of love the theatrical cut of Justice League. It is a mess, and I love it for that. But it was a bad movie. I don't think there's anyone who could objectively say the original Justice League is good.
What about these guns?
Because of that, a lot of the people who were in the fandom of the DC movies already really wanted to get a version of the Snyder Cut out. You know, like what was going to be, in their eyes, the better movie. They were screaming about it. And honestly, all of this part could be its own separate discussion. So too long don't read. The DC fandom boys really screamed really loud. The other side of the ticket screamed really loud back. DC boys took it a little too far, got a little disgusting. And then the other side did the same. Until eventually, HBO really needed content and gave the Snyder Cut to the DC boys. Whether it was for better or worse, it is what it is. But, and in that process that happened, the way Zack Snyder said he would come back and finish it up is if he had total control. With that total control, he could do whatever he wanted, reshoot things he may need, extend the length to whatever he wants. This movie is 4 hours long. It also means that he shot it in 4:3. I'm not sure why. A lot of the shots you can see from the original Justice League are fine. They just 4:3 them for this one. And I don't have anything against 4:3. It's just a really odd choice. I do think the reasoning behind it, that what I heard online, is that the more vertical frame makes the heroes feel taller and gives more of a preference for them on screen. That seems stupid though, and I don't know why it's 4:3. It is whatever, but that is how our movie will be presented to us today. Alright, so I'm going to be real with you. My expectations going into this weren't that high. I did agree with the DC boys that the Snyder Cut would be better than the other movie that came to the theaters. Just because, I mean, it had no way of being worse. But I still assumed it was going to be a Snyder movie, you know? So still not good, but, you know, better than the OG movie. Unfortunately, this does also come with a baggage, though, of everything that had been happening prior to all this. Like, we can't get around the fact that we knew that all that happened. All the asshats and all the just people screaming about this movie. And I want to be real, that, you know, this movie doesn't have a fair chance because of that. Like, there's going to be people who just instantly hate this regardless of what's going to happen. Which is unfair to be too good just out there. It's a little bit of a bummer. But also, I kind of need to be a little bit more real with something. The movie we got was not the movie we would have gotten in theaters. The movie we got is because of the situation that we were in. No way in the world would this have been the movie that we would have gotten to theaters. The Snyder Cut wouldn't have been the theatrical cut had all this situation happened. In a weird way, there's a blessing for the weeb cut. Because of the weeb cut, we got the Snyder version. So I do want that, like, that preface there, though, because, like, I think a lot of people are seeing this as like, see, we told you we were right the whole time. It's like, well, no, they wouldn't have let a 4-hour movie go to theaters, especially a 4-hour movie with as much slow-mo that this movie has. But now that we got that out of the way, let's go!
There's our man. There's our man. There's our boy.
Wrong movie. Hold up 1 second. That's better. Lucky for us, only like 4 of us are gonna watch this video. What that means, I don't have to try and vie for your attention the entire time and keep it a secret. So I'm just going to tell you, I did like this movie. I did say earlier in the little part 2, I did assume it would be better than the original movie. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be good, though. And on the flip side, though, I was 100% right. This is a Zack Snyder movie. Everything I predicted on my little chart legitimately came true. This movie is so Zack Snyder, I'm surprised Zack Snyder can make it. I don't know how he nailed himself so hard. Anyways, but yeah, it was competently made. A lot of really good shots. Like I said, it is a Snyder movie. It's not going to win anyone over who doesn't just like Snyder movies. But it has a lot more levity in it than he normally has. Just starting off with the introduction shot with Wonder Woman, instantly it's like the movie's almost the same as the other one. But this movie lets Wonder Woman be a hero for a second and actually like lets this pacing grow. So it doesn't just jump in instantly with Wonder Woman blocking bullet, throwing a bomb, and then we're like, hey, that's Wonder Woman. No, it has like a great build-up, a tension almost, with like the terrorist walking all the way up the stairs. We got a solid like minute and a half of him going up, which builds all this tension. Then you have Wonder Woman showing up and slowly kind of like working her way to him until eventually this really good choreography comes off and she saves the day. We get to watch her deflect bullets and legitimately save people. Really interesting, and the inclusion of the pacing with the tension makes the scene a lot better and also makes us feel like Wonder Woman's way more heroic. So instantly I was already starting off in a really good mood. The scene actually really highlights a lot of the stuff that I really enjoyed about this movie in general. The better pacing, everything looks better because for whatever reason when they color graded the other one, the OG Wee cut, they like oversaturated everything. And I'm not like against color bright movies and everything, but this movie has a gloomy vibe and all the costumes were designed for that. So instantly Wonder Woman already looks better. I mean, the whole movie has like this like gloomy vibe to it in general, which works better in this movie because that's what the costumes and everything were designed for. So they just look nicer and they look better. But even just down to the pacing, most of the pacing in the movie is just way better because of like letting things breathe. Zack Snyder's always had a problem with pacing and cutting his movies too quickly, and where you just feel like just random stuff is happening. It's just too cluttered. I guess giving him 4 hours really let him actually pace things the way he needed to. That said, there's still a ton of stuff that could just be cut out of this movie and it would be fine. But ultimately, the pacing of this movie is great. It gives us a lot of time to build into these characters. The following scene with Aquaman is another great example of like it just being a better suited format for this kind of movie that he was making. And putting up that little extra room let us have a lot more, actually really good intimate moments with a lot of these characters. The Alfred and Wonder Woman making tea was great. Alfred, to be fair, I guess Alfred in general. I guess I liked Alfred a lot. But the scenes with like Alfred and Bruce hanging out, just a lot of little things that happened in the movie that built up these characters as being almost like friendly and enjoyable and something I like to see. Because it just made them feel like they were a team. And since I'm watching a movie where they're teaming up, it makes me enjoy it a little bit more. There is also one thing where like, and for whatever reason in the wee cut, they made Aquaman seem like a dick to Cyborg. Because, you know, spoiler alert, Josh Whedon hates anyone other than white people. But in the Snyder Cut, he's like really sympathetic to Cyborg, and I don't know why they would have cut that out or changed it. It was clearly a reshoot for why they did that, so it's really weird. But this movie just lets everything kind of simmer and lets everything kind of like come to a good understanding of this team coming together. And it's from the pacing, which is odd to say because Zack Snyder is not good on them run times and putting things in them correctly. I mean, again, we could have snipped the chorus girls. That did not need to go on for an hour. But ultimately, good job. Really good pacing. Color grading was great and fixed. And just in general, the story felt like it was something I wanted to listen to for probably not 4 hours. But I still enjoyed it. And we do gotta have to talk about the big fights. There's a ton of them, and they're long, but by the end of the last one felt like it was almost like deserved. Like I felt like I earned this giant fight scene, and I don't know if it's like, you know, the weeb in me, but like I'm kind of used to big outrageous fights. Growing up weeb as a kid maybe like prone to me for this. I've never really had an issue with the big fights. That is what it is, but I do think that they're earned here. Except all the slow-mo. I understand that more likely we were gonna have to have some slow-mo. 2000 was this guy's time, and then there's all the boomer shots in this movie. I knew like it was gonna happen, but did it need so much slow-mo? And I guess I'll use this as a segue to just talk about other stuff I just didn't like in the movie, because although I think this movie was good, it's not great. The dialogue is still dog shit. No offense. When it was good and was working, it was great. I legitimately liked it. A lot of the reactions and the communication were really fun. But, you know, Zack Snyder, wooden characters, they weren't the best. And the dialogue with them was kind of rough sometimes. And then all the slow montage bits, like, oh my god, like, I don't need to see Aquaman walk that long. All these, like, weird, overtly Christian songs that kept happening. Cause it is a Snyder movie, gotta have a Jesus allegory every 5 seconds. Another thing kind of like rubbed me off is that like he would insert some stuff in those like little segments that would just like really ruin the shot. Spoiler. Alright, so this next part is going to be all the spoilery bits of the video. If you want to skip it, you just jump to part 6. That'll give you right where you want to be. I won't do any fun edits or any gags or anything in the other parts, just me talking to the camera. So part 6 to skip all of it. But I liked the ending, but I don't like the Flash saying, "I'm doing it, Dad." That really ruins it. I think because, you know, Zack Snyder doesn't think that we're smart enough to understand what he's saying when he's really making a very simple movie. So he nails it in, and it didn't need to be nailed in because we're not that stupid. No one's that stupid. But, you know what? I did like it. And I think that's a pretty good thing, though. Like I said, a lot of that, the good glosses over some of those, like, very big complaints. And I did really think that a lot of it was put together. I think the team aspect of this movie was really good. I felt like they were a team. Everyone felt like they have a purpose. Everything felt like it needed to be there. And it felt like this is a group of people coming together for a better cause. And I generally liked most of the communication between them. I liked the feeling that they had of like camaraderie. I like that they actually saved people. Like, they didn't just let people die while making gags in a... Like, I think the fact that they felt like they were purposely trying to save as many people as they could, even if sometimes, like, it was weird. Like, the hot dog scene was funny, but a little creepy. But, you know, it's still well-intentioned. Like, he grabbed a hot dog to give the dogs to make a cover story. But also, he's a good guy. He likes dogs. Wonder Woman and Cyborg and Aquaman teaming up to fight. Them doing, like, combo attacks. And, like, the fact that, you know, every single piece of the puzzle was there for them to end the fight. Batman put a lot of strategy together and getting everyone together and like kind of coming up with a plan. And you know, in the original wee cut, Superman just shows up and punches the end. You know, like he punches Stephen Wolf or whatever his name is. Stephen Wolf is like, "Oh, I got punched real good," and then they kill the computer. Like, really boring, really stupid. So the fact that this one like felt like Superman came and Superman helped, clearly. Superman couldn't have done it on his own because, spoiler, they lost. I love that they didn't win. And we gotta have the big moment of the Flash reversing time a little bit. Would have kind of preferred them to like have saved that for like maybe the Flash movie of doing like some Flash time travel stuff, but you know, it's cool. It worked, and I thought that moment was fun because it really let him add more to it other than the "I'm doing it, Dad" scene. It helped, and it made everyone feel important as a role, and then you have this ending of them doing the classic lineup, and it's wonderful. I legitimately am surprised to say that. I think it was a great ending, and I think I don't know how or why they removed all the Cyborg stuff, because that helped sell everything that was happening. Why he removed all the Cyborg stuff, I will never know. It was good. His emotion kind of like mirroring them all coming together and learning to trust each other and kind of self-forgiveness and bigger than oneself understanding of vibes, kind of mirroring everything going on in the movie with him. It was really good and really cute. I loved it. I like that they actually seemed like they cared about it and that they took time to like really grow that moment for Cyborg and the team. It was a really good latching point for us to kind of like find ourselves in that group of people, because we've all felt a little bit like Cyborg sometimes. So it's amazing. I really enjoyed it. Except that was stupid. Why did they do this? The Lex Luthor with Deathstroke was okay. But really, it was stupid. I don't like the idea of the apocalyptic because Batman went evil. Like, rough Superman is always annoying. The Martian Manhunter part where they came down and just explained the themes of the movie to us was really stupid. I'm like, no, I think I understood all of this. I didn't need an alien to come down and tell me, hey, your parents are proud. When it's like, I understand that. Like, that was like the whole vibe of the movie, is that being proud of others. And it nailed it. It like told us every theme that was in the movie. And it's like, Zack Snyder, you're not so deep that no one was understanding what you were saying. The whole epilogue just really killed my mood. Hated it. Didn't like it. Ruined. But ultimately, it was a good movie, which I really enjoyed. But then seeing this epilogue was just awkward, cringy, stupid. It made me feel like I wasted my time a little bit, and I really hated it. The epilogue, just skip it. It's the worst part of the movie. It makes you wonder if they even trust you to have any comprehension of anything ever. And it's a Zack Snyder movie, so, you know, it wasn't hard to figure things out. We're not watching The Vanishing. So yeah, but yeah, that's it.